Hello, and welcome to the first podcast of the new GOP. My name is Jesus Torres, and I go by Jay. I am a U.S. Army veteran residing in Woodbridge, Virginia, originally hailing from New York City, and a former U.S. presidential candidate. For those that have followed my recent Torres 2024 presidential campaign, you may know about my push for new leadership at the top echelons of the government. This grassroots effort is dubbed the New Government of the People, or simply the New GOP. The New GOP is the idea which sprang up years ago in which a united political party is formed and with the direct input from the people created to deliver new hope, new vision, and new leadership to Washington. This is not the grand old party or the good old party. This is the new government of the people. You may be asking yourselves, why am I doing this? The purpose of the push for the new GOP is simple. For years, the American people have watched the political pendulum swing back and forth between the Democrats and Republicans. That's the issue. A divided nation right from the start, led by one of the two parties that are causing the divisiveness. Why? There's only one America. So why wouldn't the next president be aligned with the will of the American people without a red or blue stigma attached? Behind closed doors, politicians at the end of the day compromise. Deals are made, everyone gets their slice of the pie, and they go home with a sense of accomplishment. What I would push for is a lot more involvement from the American people towards the agendas they enact into law, which ultimately impact and affect us. Our input is not necessarily being heard at the top levels of government, and when it is, it's usually due to our protests and us sounding off to get the answers we seek. Any sitting president will be representing the common man, not the elite. 50 years and 10 administrations later, America has only found itself in a deeper hole than the one we were trying to dig ourselves out of. Today, after a combined effort which took 10 former or current administrations to muster, Americans are left with unfulfilled promises, a broken economy, an insecure border, economic and social unrest, and citizens left empty-handed and clueless on the future and direction of our country. We owe this to our representatives, most of whom are decent, honorable, and just, yet they have barely been able to keep our frail nation intact. Unfortunately, among our country's leadership, there are those who continue to seek divisiveness within our country. Due to the short-sightedness and inability to lead and the restraining of the American spirit, we are now facing growing areas of uncertainty along with weak promises from both sides of the aisle. As a byproduct of the decisions from a few politicians up in Capitol Hill, the American people have in the last 5 years been subjected to a national debt of over $36 trillion, an insecure porous border, over 100,000 deaths last year attributed to opioid overdoses, 460,000 of our children abducted annually, the highest inflation in 40 years, 5 times higher than it was just 4 years ago, and the highest gasoline prices ever seen in a generation. We have discovered microplastic in our Antarctic snow, even though there are those that place little concern over the change in our climate. Reckless teachers that assault our own children and prefer to teach their young minds alternative lifestyles rather than English and arithmetic. Law enforcement that watch a person die rather than doing anything to save them, and politicians who live a lavish lifestyle and only care about their own personal net worth. America is better than this. The purpose of this podcast is to further the message of our platform, Unite America, strengthen our national interests, and bring forth the creation of a unified political party, the new GOP. With your involvement, we intend for the new GOP to gain popularity at the national level and become a new and independent political party. In the coming episodes, you will learn more about the new GOP, our plan of action for each topic, and an opportunity to have your voice not only heard, but incorporated within our platform. Abraham Lincoln once said, "The best way to determine the future is to create it," and that is what we aim to do. You are now witnessing the birth of a new movement in America, the new GOP. For it to be successful, we must take a new approach to self-governance. We need to shed this blue and red tarp from our shoulders and align ourselves with our nation's original purpose, our nation's God-given moral compass, and the expectation of correcting our past mistakes. Join me. Join the new GOP. Help unite America and move forward to our true intended destiny. Thank you for your time in watching this episode, and please leave your comments behind. If you'd like to be a guest on our next or upcoming podcast, call our headquarters at 571-285-3088. In my next episode, we will look into the matter of our missing men, women, and children. According to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons Database, over 560,000 people disappeared last year in the United States. That's over 1,500 a day. These are our family members. We need to stop those responsible for what's occurring, and this is one of the top items on my platform agenda. Spread the word about the new GOP. Like, share, subscribe, and have a great day.